Hey, what's up, my little TisaTells? How y'all doing today? Sorry I'm late. I had to restart my computer, but let's just get straight into it. That reunion was so good. That finale was so good. It had everything we wanted, and it made me honestly think, why wasn't that the 5th episode of the season? We literally sat through, don't get me wrong, the season was good, but we sat through all of these things, right? All of these things we sat through. And then we finally got to it. And it's just like, huh? What? They could have started the season and had that been episode 5 and literally have a whole season. So I'm trying to get set up. Y'all know I was panicking. This is the first time I put on makeup in a week. We literally did all that. And we could have had that as season 5. And there still would have been like a whole season of things to tape just based off of what we saw at the fashion show. The dynamic between Sheree, all this stuff. Now, listen, for those of you guys don't know, my name's Tisa. Thank you for coming to my recap. Here's what I do. I also just go through everything that happened in the episode, and then I open up the phone lines. And yes, we are opening up the phone lines. I'll drop the link as soon as I'm done the episode, right? Okay. So let's get into it, right? Because I did take some notes. So the episode starts off a little slow. And I remember sitting there thinking, is this okay? You know what? Before we get to the episode, let me just say something. The whole time, Sheree was talking trash about Tyrone. And I just want to say this. You can really tell when Sheree started talking to Martell. When she's in the green screen, right? The sit downs, whatever they call them, Sheree's talking mad trash about Tyrone. But when Tyrone came in with those Kroger flowers, those $14.99 flowers, as she likes to say, her heart was melting. She was like, oh, thank you. You know what? Sheree honestly reminds me of Khloe Kardashian when it comes to men. I didn't know it was possible that you would take Tyrone and whatever problems you had and actually downgrade. Now, I'm not saying that Tyrone ain't something. I don't know Tyrone. We don't know enough about him. But I will say this. Tyrone had been to prison for how many years, but we didn't have a history. You are now with Martell Holt, who, in my opinion, exposed himself as a narcissistic person who literally drove his side piece crazy, trying to literally, right? Listen, Queen Dara, wait, your mom from Philly told you all about Tyrone. What, Queen Dara? You're going to have to dial in. Please dial in when I drop the calling link. But how do you go from someone like Tyrone and now you with Martell Holt, and Martell in every single aspect seems to be a downgrade? I wouldn't wish Martell on my worst enemy. That's how bad I think Martell is. I actually feel so sorry for Melody that's the father of her 4 kids. Anyway, let's get into this review. I'm just saying. It's just like, what's up, MEP? We'll say hi. Listen. Tyrone had that prison walking mentality. Baby, Sheree was getting married to a prison guy. Of course he had the prison walk. That's like me going to the local pound looking for a date, then getting mad that my date's wagging his tail and saying woof, woof, woof. What did you expect to happen? Of course he got. Queen Dara, thank you, Queen Dara. We're going to have to talk. Let's get through this, right? And then we're actually going to talk. We're going to get through the notes. Okay. So and Mama Joyce is a mess. Y'all, let me just get into this recap because Mama Joyce literally took me out. I said, what in the world? Okay. Right. So it starts off a little slow. Candy's driving with Blaze. Blaze is like, yay, mommy. Candy's like clapping. Drew's with her mom talking about her Achilles tendon and all this stuff. Girl, nobody cares. Right. But thank God, I don't even know why. And this is what frustrates me about Real Housewives of Atlanta producers. Why, when you had all that juice and meat from the fashion show, right? You had the drama of Sheree. You had the drama of Tyrone. You had like Dwight. You had people's reactions from the fashion show. You could have given us more about Sheree not having any fashions until the last 3 minutes. But instead, you waste 5 minutes showing Candy and cute little Blaze, like Candy just driving her around and Drew having a nothing conversation with her mom. Again, why wasn't the fashion show episode 5 of the season, and they literally could have given us a season of the fallout from the fashion show, because that was the most interesting part to me anyway, right? Then we go to Kenya. Is talking about her opening at CVS. She's preparing for it. She's super excited. She should be. It's a huge accomplishment. It's so huge that it makes me wonder, why did the producers look over it the whole season? They were looking for storylines. They were doing this. They were doing that. They were literally gave more episodes to like Marlo cooking in her kitchen than stuff that we actually want to see. And this is what I mean about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't understand why everybody's always like, storyline. What's your storyline? I don't understand why the producers are so strict on them having a storyline, when the truth of the matter is, no matter how good or bad someone's storyline is, no matter what somebody has going on with their lives, the one thing that we can say about the producers are, they will X all that out and give us a scene where there's frying eggs in the kitchen, when they're eating some Popeye's chicken. Candy is literally taking over the world. What do we get? Her clapping hands with Blaze in the car, and then they zoom by anything else, right? Hey, Queen Dara, thank you so much for joining the TisaTells. Y'all, we are doing the members only live. Also this week, I'm going live tomorrow. And of course, we're having our celebration on Tuesday. So it's going to be a big week. But it's kind of like, why did the Real Housewives of Atlanta make so big a deal about having a storyline where everything, no matter what's going on, how great the business success is, this and that, they will give us 50 minutes of people literally talking trash in the kitchen. Just in the kitchen, like anyway. So it's kind of like nobody needs to come on Atlanta with a storyline, meaning having something going on in their lives. Because when you have something incredible, like Kenya doing Dancing with the Stars, Kenya doing CVS, that's a big accomplishment. Like Candy said, Candy's like, my stuff's not even in CVS. This is huge. They literally, out of the whole season, maybe I saw 10 minutes about what was going on with Kenya and CVS, and 10 minutes was including this episode. So anyway, Kenya's saying that she couldn't get her bottles and stuff from China on the price that was predetermined. So she literally had to go and pay more out of her profits to get the bottles there so they could fill it up and put it in CVS. Kenya is a businesswoman. She said, I'm not missing an opportunity to have my stock in 5,000 CVS stores, and perhaps it'll expand nationwide. And I mean, even like small town CVSs. Right now, it's all in the big cities. Why would I give that up? Let me reinvest. She's a smart business woman, right? All right. So anyway, she said, Sonya goes to Dr. Jackie. She gets her IUD removed. She says it's ready. Ross and her said they had a sit down. They're on board. They got past whatever hesitancies around. We're going to talk about Ross in a second. They said they started listening to each other, right? Ross got his way. Here's all I'm saying to Sonya, and this is my prayer to her. Here's the thing. I know I talk trash about Sonya all season because she was getting on my nerves, but I actually like Sonya. I think she's a welcome addition to the cast. My job is to run my mouth, and when we are on reality TV, I just sit there and dissect everything everybody does. I think Sonya's a really good addition, all right? Here's my thing for Sonya that I'm actually worried about. By making a baby your storyline, and to say that Ross started listening and we're finally on the own page and this and that, anybody that watches reality TV knows you invited the devil into your house. They wouldn't have cast you as an interesting couple if they didn't see some dysfunction there. Reality TV does not cast healthy relationships. They look at them as boring, right? Now, I'm not saying that people are dysfunctional, but you get what I'm saying. They like the mess. They like the drama. The fact that she is now making a baby her storyline for the next season, I'm really scared for them, because if you have any skeletons in your closet, if there's any cracks in the relationship, they are going to zoom in. They're going to exasperate. They're going to do everything they can to tear it down and knock it down. Do you see what I'm saying? So even though Sonya's like, cool, we're going to have a baby, it's like, girl, you don't understand reality TV. I hope that marriage is strong, because y'all might be divorced by the end of the week, by the end of next season, and not because Portia tried to steal your man. You know, she busy working on somebody else's granddaddy, begging for that prenup. We're going to talk about that too. But do you get what I'm saying? I just don't think Sonya's so used to reality TV. Everybody gets a good edit their first season. Everybody does. It's like they go easy on you. Everybody gets a good edit. The second season is when the producers made you feel comfortable, where they know where your bodies are buried, and when they start dragging out those things. And you invited the devil in your house by making a baby your communication and a relationship something that you want for your next season. At least that's just me. That's what I think, right? Anyway, Marlo stops by. Ross teaches the boys to teach Tyre. I thought that was a sweet scene. And here's the thing, back to Sonya and Ross. If you guys haven't been on my Twitter, I'm TisaTells on Twitter, but I retweeted somebody's tweet of Ross where, I don't know, Sonya's sister was being cursed out by her then boyfriend. Ross was sitting there kikiing. Sonya had to run after it. The guy was telling Sonya to mind her MF business. It was a mess. That's why I was like, I don't think I would want, I don't know. So anyway, right? Marlo stops by. She's talking to Sonya about some stuff. Sonya talking about her baby, right? Ross is talking about, sorry guys, I'm on a different time zone. Sorry. Ross is talking about, he's teaching the boys to change tires and do all this and doing that. And he said he really didn't have like a man actually showing him all those things until his stepdad. So I thought that was sweet that he was kind of like, come here, let me give a male influence to Marlo's boys. That really made me be like, okay, so Ross has a good heart. He has his head on his shoulder and he loves children. Who doesn't like somebody that likes children, right? Listen, Marlo starts talking about her mom, starts telling her how cruel her mom was to her. Sorry, y'all know me in a different time zone. How cruel her mom was to her. And I remember thinking, where's this storyline coming from? And I know this is Marlo's real life, but this is what I mean about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It seems like, honestly, Truly Original and Bravo are just, phoning in Real Housewives of Atlanta. Marlo had this whole storyline with her mom, and it's real deep. I'm going to get into it in a second. And y'all was giving her going back and forth with Kenya. Why did you give that so much airtime? It's so weird what they chose. Now, listen, when I first got into this reality TV game 15 months ago, I was just a young sprout, breaking my way through the YouTube ground. I'm trying to make an analogy, but it's not really working out in my head. But y'all see where I'm going. I'm trying to just say something. I don't know. Y'all get what I'm trying to go with the analogy. Just keep that feeling in your mind, right? When I was a newbie, I came out. And I came out with Real Housewives of Atlanta tea, and of course, tea on what was going on with Portia's show. I was right about everything. But one of the things everybody forgets that I said from the beginning, NBC Universal is over Real Housewives of Atlanta. Same way they're over Real Housewives of New York. I'm giving y'all some tea, and I'm telling you, we're already seeing things come into place. Real tea, right? I said this 15 months ago when I first started out, and I kept saying they plan to wind down Real Housewives of Atlanta. Why? Even though it still is getting decent views, it is far from their heyday. But when you look at the salaries of all the OGs, NBC was Universal was looking at it. It's like, okay, fine, you guys might make a little more than all the other franchises, but you guys cost a lot more. We're actually making more on Below Deck than we are on you guys. It's not really giving a payoff. So they literally said in 2 years, maybe up to 3, they were going to start winding down Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was going to go the way of Real Housewives in New York. They were also going to take Real Housewives of Potomac and that to the network, because you know they can only have one poppin' black show, in my opinion, right? Was supposed to take Atlanta's place, and it was going to be the Real Housewives. They were going to put in the promotion. They were going to put in the fanfare. They were even going to put in all this effort to pop up Potomac because they thought the Real Housewives of Atlanta had seen their better days. The same way they feel like Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of OC have seen their better days, okay? This was a decision. 1, how do I know that this is coming to fruition? Well, we actually have facts. Look what happened, what they did with the filming schedule. Did anybody notice the way they cleverly took Atlanta and gave it Potomac's time slot and times, and then took Potomac and put it in Atlanta's slot? And guess what? They used, it was production and filming and contracts, and we don't know what's going on. And, we're hoping Portia comes back. They didn't give a damn about that because at the end of the day, they wanted to get the OGs out of there because the OGs are costing too much money. That's why they let Cynthia go, right? Quiet as is kept. They were really ready to let Portia and Kenya go, but they decided to keep Kenya. Portia, because of all her games, they're like, fine, we'll give you a spinoff. We'll give you a little special and see how it goes. We saw she messed that up, right? None of Portia's specials have ever worked out. But anyway, forget about that. Let's actually get back to this. They literally are winding it down. They said, we can bring in new blood that's cheaper, that makes it worth it with advertising dollars, keeping it up. We'll keep it for a little longer until it completely runs out of gas, like Real Housewives of New York. But if it doesn't, we're winding it down. Everybody said I was a liar. Everybody said I was hating. Everybody said I didn't know what I was talking about, even though people were always scooping the things that I was saying. But we now see, he who laughs loudest. Didn't Real Housewives of Potomac keep Atlanta? Now they have Atlanta spot, right? And on top of that, they said this will now be their permanent spot. So they already have that time slot that everybody in Bravo is used to looking at. That's good. But look at even the difference between the cast picture for Atlanta and the cast pictures for Potomac. Atlanta, they had to put their pennies together and I know none of those ladies got pennies, but let me just make my analogy. They had to put their pennies together and they 100% had to get their cast photo reshot because what Bravo gave them was so pathetically bad. Look at Potomac's cast picture. Have y'all seen it? I'll pull it up. Have y'all seen it? It's giving, what was that season where all the Atlanta housewives were wearing black? When everybody was killing it. Y'all remember that season? That's what the Potomac housewives. It looks like Photoshop. It looks like airbrush, but it looks like money on the cast thing. They're also putting in all the promotion. They're putting in all the fanfare. Right? They're doing what they can because they truly believe that Potomac will be the next Atlanta because their storylines have not run their course. Even think about this fashion show. It was super triumphant for Sheree, but did it not feel like a goodbye? Did it not feel like you're trying to give like the old school fans what they want? And it also felt like they were out of ideas. But again, it seems like with Atlanta, it's still a great show. They're still doing what they can, but to me it seems like Bravo truly they're phoning it in. It's like when you know you're quitting your job and you're still showing up to work, but baby you're just like whatever. Did you clock in? Maybe. Did you do this? Why are you coming back late for lunch? Because I am. What's your next question? Do you want me to get to work or I can leave now? That's what it's given. I'm just saying keep an eye on this in the next 2 years and watch. I'm just saying everything I've said about Atlanta and everything I've said about Portia's Family Matters came to fruition, came to pass, and it came to pass. Just what I'm saying. I'm not saying who told me, but I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get back to this after I just wanted to, I don't know. Anyway, so again, the fact that Marlo had the storyline with her mom and they wasted our time with her and Kenya fussing, which really wasn't even that interesting. It's like, yeah, we get it. Kenya's lighthearted, Marlo's the villain. Again, they was phoning it in, right? I saw that shade that Marlo threw. Sonya made shrimp. The boys came and got a plate. And the boys were like, thank you. And Marlo was like, Michael, so-and-so, I didn't make that shrimp. And I was like, is Marlo telling her nephews low-key, don't eat strangers' food? I don't know. Or were you trying to, I don't know. Anyway, I think she was low-key trying to say, don't eat her food. Maybe Sonya's kitchen didn't look as clean as she thought it was. Maybe she didn't cut, but I caught that when she was like, the boys were walking out and she's like, oh yeah, and I didn't make that shrimp, by the way, Michael. Oh, what the other little boy's name? And I said, look at Marlo trying to warn. Anyway, right? It cuts to Sheree planning the fashion show. I said, what is going on? Sheree, you don't got nothing prepared. Nothing on. And then you know what? I had to check myself and say, you know what? Let's give Sheree a hand. We know that fashion show was fabulous. It was everything we knew Sheree could get. Now we're going to talk about it. But I will say this. Sheree is the prime example of hustle culture. And I say this in a good way. I'm actually really proud of Sheree. And I'm glad people saw what took it. You know, we all have this vision in our life. Yes, I'm going to get philosophical. Let me just get it. All right. We all have this vision in our life. And we're all taught. I don't know where. Well, I wasn't taught this because y'all can tell. I just come on when I feel like it. Sometimes I have makeup on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm doing a podcast. Sometimes y'all see my face. Sometimes it sounds bad. It doesn't matter. I still show up because at the end of the day, I hope you guys can rock with me. The ugly truth nobody tells you about is when you're trying to build something new and something you've never done before, right? And especially when you're stubborn and you got a lot of pride like Sheree does, nobody tells you the ugliest truth. All you see, if Bravo hadn't been there with the cameras, true, Sheree's fashion show was 2 hours late, right? But if Bravo hadn't been there with the cameras, Sheree could have done what anybody does. You know, sometimes you show up and the movie's starting late, the show's starting late, you're showing up to get your hair done, your hairdresser's late. People don't show you the ugly side of when you're trying to start something you never started before. Things don't go well. You are pulling it together on a shoestring budget. You are making a lot of mistakes. There are a lot of fires going around. It does look like you're not going to be able to pull through. But guess what? The strong people, the people that know that they have a vision and they have something they want to share with the world, they don't care. It don't matter if the universe, it doesn't matter if the world is at their feet and they are standing on the ceiling. It doesn't matter. They persevere, they push through. And at the end of the day, they stand there proud because at the end of the day, all that shit they taught us that mattered, showing up on time, being punctual, making sure you have things all set perfectly before you can decide to raise your hand and shine. It's all BS. You know the people that shine? They're the people that no matter what happens, no matter how many people talk, no matter how many people laugh, no matter how many disappointments, no matter how much it seems like things are falling off in the seams, they persevere. And at the end of the day, they take all the glory. That's what is going on. And I'm glad, Sheree. You know, and I'll say it, I was dragging Sheree too. But I will also say to every person that's dragged, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. My job is to nitpick. My job is to find the faults. Your job when you have a dream is to go after that dream like your life depended on it. Your job, because if you're waiting for the world to knock on the door and be like, hi, I heard you had some dreams. I'd really love to help you fulfill. Listen, if you have people in your life that are going to help you fulfill them, fantastic. But at the end of the day, your job is to love yourself and your vision, have faith in yourself through anyone. And I'm glad Sheree showed to everyone. Yes, the fashion show was late. Yes, you ain't have ish ready. Yes, you didn't honestly know what you're doing. But so what? I'll tell you a secret. 90% of the successful people out here don't know what they're doing. They winging it minute by minute. You throwing it up to God, hoping it comes down in the right way. And the other 10% that knows what they're doing, that's because they came from family money. They came from legacy money. They had somebody that loved and cared about them, that was teaching them about the family business from the time they were old enough to breathe. Those are the people that knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know that one book that says anyone can become an expert at anything as long as you have 10,000 hours of practice. And the great players, whether they're great minds, great athletes, great whatever, the only thing that separates them from you is they got their 10,000 hours while they were young. But you can still get your 10,000 hours while you're old. I'm just saying, I thought Sheree was actually really, and I know I'm going to criticize and drag and whatever, but kudos to Sheree for showing us the ugly side of following your dream, baby. If it was easy to be successful, everybody would be successful. I'm being serious. If it was easy to just show up, everybody would show up. So kudos to Sheree. Kudos. Listen. Again, who said it? Somebody said, Lily said there's no clothes on her website. T said, I do not have the money Sheree has, and I had a beautiful original fashion that wouldn't be for. Listen, I get it, Lily. I completely get it. Sheree is a work in progress. But I just want everybody to know you don't need to be perfect to show up. You know what Sheree's problem is right now? Sheree is counteracting the programming she got when she was young, that you must be perfect to show up and perfect to be worthy and perfect to share your dream with someone. Listen, y'all know me. I don't care if people see me messing up because, baby, all you see me doing is practice. And eventually, boom, I'm going to hit that ball out of the park. So it doesn't bother me. I know I have no shame, right? It doesn't bother me when people be dragging me for misspelling titles, misspeaking words. Yeah, I know how to speak English. I'm highly educated, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. It doesn't bother me when people drag me because they just don't see it for me. Because at the end of the day, you're watching me practice, and eventually you're going to see me hit it out the park. But that's all I'm saying with Sheree. We're watching Sheree practice. And if she really believes in this, and this wasn't just a storyline, eventually we're going to see Sheree hit it out the park. No one that focuses on a goal doesn't achieve it. You don't achieve it quickly, but if you bite onto it like a bulldog, you will. You see what I'm saying? Listen, I'm just saying. That's right, Tammy. Go hard. Go hard for yours. That's your responsibility. That's your job. I'm telling you. And the one thing I've even noticed, I know, this is the last thing I'm going to say. The one thing I've noticed about YouTube, right? And this is in life, and this is what Sheree is going through. And I'm only using YouTube because that's an analogy I can say. When I first started, people dragged me for talking too fast. They dragged me for rambling. They dragged me for like being unprofessional. When I came at people, and again, people were sitting there talking like newscasters. I'm of course everybody has their own vibe, but I'm talking about the people that drag me, right? People make fun of you when they don't understand what you're doing, when they don't see it, when you disrupt things. They just do. It's just human nature. It's fine, right? If you let those people discourage you, you'll never see the other side. Because, baby, look at God's glory. The same people that dragged me, didn't want to work with me, called me unprofessional, this and that, same people cutting and pasting my personality, the same people watching my channel, trying to see how I do my openings, trying to do this, trying to do that. The same people are now emulating because they see that there's something in it, right? They're going to be also the same people that burn out, because that's the one thing on YouTube. If you fake your personality, no matter what your personality is, those are the people that burn out. Let me shut up though, because I've only been on YouTube for 15 months. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is the same people that doubt Sheree, myself included, we're going to be the same people on her site ordering her clothes. So again, don't let people dissuade you, because again, what's that word? At first, when you're trying to move toward a goal, people hold you back by don't do that. Then when you bust through that, they march beside you and they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing it all wrong. But the minute you break free of that, that's when they start following. And that's when, you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. At least the people that rock with you. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so Sheree's planning a fashion show. It's last minute. She don't got nothing going on. I hope to God this isn't a storyline and that Sheree's website actually does go live. I hope Sheree finally kills that inner voice that tells her that if she's not perfect, she's not worthy of showing up. She's on her way. I hope she does, right? And Sheree talk about every day of my life. Someone calls me She by Sheree when I'm walking down the streets of Atlanta. And I was like, God, Sheree is her harshest critic. Because if somebody was like, if I was Sheree and somebody was like, yo, what's up, She by Sheree? I'd be like, yup, that's me. But again, stuff like that doesn't bother me. You can sit there and watch me create because it's going to be a masterpiece. You can sit there and watch me create. Anyway, right? Marlo goes to see her mom. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Marlo's mom is so beautiful. And I say this also respectfully in the fact that Marlo's mom has suffered from addiction problems. And usually people that suffer from addiction problems, it sucks your beauty out of you. Do you know, or your attractiveness, man or woman. The fact that Marlo's mom has been through all that and you can still see her beauty, I was like, wow, you must have been something to behold before you got pulled under, right? Marlo's mom, though, is a mess, talking about well, you hurt me too. And I was like, hey, what's up, Fatima kid? What's going on? Fatima kid, what's going on? Marlo's mom, thank you for joining the TisaTells. Marlo's mom is a mess, talking about you hurt me too. And I was like, wow, I get it. And Marlo's a grown woman. And sometimes when kids are grown, you can have a grown talk with them. But Marlo is literally talking about you, like abandoning her, leaving the boys in the crack house, walking around, calling her whores in the neighborhood. I was like, Marlo, listen, I just don't understand. Listen, Sheree's site, I just had a text. Sheree's site is not up. Hopefully it'll be up before 11:30 p.m. before Watch What Happens Live, because it is not. I feel like Andy is going to be dragging. Okay, right? they talk about Marlo and foster care. It's really sad. But I also looked at producers like, it's also really sad that you guys chose to make Marlo a one-dimensional character. They've been doing this a while with Real Housewives of Atlanta. They love making that whole cast a character of women that just like fuss. And of course, they got to have a twerking scene. I really honestly feel like they do, like, oh, middle American, they just think that Black women just like, a lawyer and like, a civil rights leader's daughter comes to meet for lunch and they're like, that's because that's what Black women do. Now, listen, yes, of course, ain't nothing wrong with twerking, but it just seemed to be like just what they're happy presenting. It's weird. The note they ended on seems super, super, like, I'm telling you, they're winding down this franchise. Everybody talking about, oh my God, who's going to be on next season, baby? You need to worry about if the Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to be on in 2 seasons. Anyway, right? Sheree talking about she got 10 or 11 pieces, but you know what? Good for her. And instead of ridiculing her, I honestly, and I understand why this is happening. So many people that are starting their own stuff, they don't ever want you to see the ugly side of what they're doing. They only want you to see the success. And then when somebody asks, how did you do it? They got a little fantasy about what happened. Oh, this and that. Instead of people really being honest and being like, I'll tell you what happened. Sometimes I would break down crying because I was working so much. Half my family wasn't messing with me because I was evil, because I wasn't sleeping and I was cursing them out. I broke up with my man or my woman. Do you know how many times my card got declined at CVS because literally I only had $7 until next payday? The people that literally have that hustle culture, hardly anybody will tell you the truth about how hard it is. Again, and the people that don't experience that, it's because you were lucky enough to have family money or you went into it with money. I just wish more people would be honest about, like, but people look down to be like, listen, I'm glad you guys like the fashion show, but for real, we literally pulled it together an hour before. I think it just be honest, and it could really motivate people to not be so feeling like they got to be perfect to move forward. Anyway, right? Kenya's at her opening. Sonya shows up. Candy, of course, is there. Candy always going to support somebody getting a coin. Drew, listen, I know I dragged Drew. She really grew on me though. When she was walking and she's like, I'm coming. I'm almost there. And I said, Drew is the epitome of an actress. And you know what? She showed up in every scene. And yes, she was supporting Kenya. But honestly, like I said in my video about the Porsche's coming back or not, that $6 million lie. She was supporting her and doing all this stuff, but partly because if you only get paid per scene, right? Per episode you're on, and the more times you meet up and interact with cast, you literally multiply your chances of making sure that you get paid for the episode. Drew showed up with that broken foot and said, I'm not taking any chances. What's up? Right? Now, right? Also, Drew, we get it. It's your second season. You're still broke. Your third season, you won't be worrying about. She's complaining about that Sheree owes her a couple of $100 for a party, right? The party from last episode. To which I say, Sheree does have a history of not paying people, right? But also with Drew, right? Drew, I'm just waiting for your third season too, when you really start making money. So when 200 ain't nothing to you and you could just whatever. But I really do feel like Drew feels like she gave her gas money and she wants her money back. Anyway, we get, right? Yes, Virtually Glorious. It would have been the perfect time to be live. But you know what? The thing is with She by Sheree, like Candy said, she does have a perfect name. She does have brand recognition. Whenever she goes live, judging by what I saw on the runway, I'll buy something and it's going to spread by wildfire. Even Bravo will promote it. Sheree has built-in promotion for She by Sheree. Y'all see what I'm saying? So even though this is the perfect time, right, to go live, it's not the only good time for her website to go live. And Sheree needs to learn, never let the perfect stand in the way of getting it done. Sometimes getting it done is perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what Sheree don't understand. There's a perfect time right now for you to be live, but that doesn't mean that's the only good time. So anyway, right? Oh my God. Candy and Mama Joyce. Yo, that scene between Candy and Mama Joyce was so deep. If you guys haven't seen the episode, I'll break it down what happened. Candy sat down and talked to Mama Joyce about the trust. Mama Joyce started giving her advice on who she thought the money should go to. And that's when I realized, I thought the beef between Candy and Mama Joyce was some Candy and Todd. Sorry, Todd and Mama Joyce was some BS. I thought okay, at first you didn't trust him, but you warmed up to that man. The fact that she sat across from Candy and literally was trying to talk Candy into cutting out Blaze and cutting out Ace from her inheritance and just giving it all to Riley because Riley was the firstborn. And I said, wow, Mama Joyce really hates Candy, really can't stand Todd, that you would even suggest that Candy's two youngest children be cut out. And you know one thing about Candy and any earth sign and any Taurus, Candy loves her children more than air. I honestly feel like Candy would walk away from every bag she had if it came down to having to protect her children or having to do something for her children. And the fact that you looked and you're their grandmother and they're going to see this on tape and you suggested that Riley get everything. Forget about Kayla, because I was like, well, what about Kayla? Are we going to talk about Kayla? But you know how Mama Joyce is about Kayla. She be moving strange. But Ace, because I was like, okay, maybe you're doing this because Riley's your blood. It's messed up. I don't believe in that. It's Candy's stepdaughter now. She should be treated the same. But the fact that you suggested that Candy not leave any money to Ace and Blaze, I said, wow, that's deep. That's deep. That's ugh. I don't even know what to say about this. Listen, I just don't know what to say. Listen, Joshua, I can't believe she even suggested that either. It was deep. It made me rewind everything. It made me even realize, do you think that's why Todd was always so no, Kayla, you're not taking any of Candy's money. You're going to work. Because he didn't want to give Mama Joyce the satisfaction of being able to say that his daughter was taking Candy's money. Now, listen, I think that's a silly plot because, baby, Candy is your wife. And if I married Candy, any blood of mine would be like, come meet your new stepmommy, Candy. No, literally, Candy has a loving heart. She wanted Kayla and Riley to be raised equally. I think that was beautiful of Candy. But maybe that's why, it made me think maybe that's why Todd didn't let Kayla take any money, because he didn't want to give Mama Blaze the satisfaction. If that's the case, I think that was so stupid. But because it didn't hurt Kayla, because Kayla's beautiful, she's smart, she's able. But I just think that she struggled in a way that she didn't need to. But that was so deep that Mama Joyce said that. But then it wasn't over, right? The fact that she said, and she didn't think Todd deserved anything. And Candy was like, you don't think I need to give my husband anything? Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think that Todd, no, Todd's not getting the whole portion, because they got 1, 2, 3, 4 kids between them. Riley, Kayla, Ace, and Blaze, right? So, of course, right? But the fact that Candy was like, I love this man, I want to give him something. Candy got enough money to give him something. And Mama Joyce was literally like, well, he should have accumulated something. Yeah, he should have, and he has. But that still doesn't mean that he deserves the slap in the face of not even being mentioned in the will. It's just real weird. Now, here's the thing. Well, everything with Mama Joyce, it's always too much. But Mama Joyce also had a point when she was like, but if you leave too much to Todd, another woman's going to be in your bed, eating, literally ordering takeout. Ordering takeout from Blaze Steakhouse, that lobster with the steak from Blaze Shrimp House, getting it delivered to her house because, of course, she's the lady of the house. And Candy was like, okay, listen, Todd can have a girlfriend. But the thing Mama Joyce was neglecting to mention, you can literally, because a lot of people did that back in Victorian time, you can set up trust and you can set up things that pay that as long as you are unmarried, I will always pay you this certain amount. But once you get married, this amount is going to go away, right? So it's kind of like you could have did that. You really honestly could have did that. But then we see Mama Joyce's and her ulterior motives. As usual, Mama Joyce wanted all that money to herself. Mama Joyce literally had the nerve to say, because she's like, who's going to be on the trust? And Candy was like, well, Don Juan. And I said, well, you know Don Juan's meaning that will. She touched Don Juan with her life, as she should, right? Candy works with people she considers family. But anyway, Mama Joyce said, it should be Don Juan or someone else. And Candy was like, who? And Mama Joyce said, how about me? And I said, that's Candy's mama, but I wouldn't trust Mama Joyce with my money either. Candy's worried about whether or not Todd is going to give Riley the life that she needs, right? The life that she deserves, the life that Candy wants her to have. Meanwhile, Mama Joyce just let it be known at the table that she's going to make sure Ace and Blaze, hold on really quick, y'all. Hold on. Wait, where's the mute? Hold on. I'm back. Sorry. Thanks. I had to ask for some light. It was getting dark. The sun was going down. The sun was setting on TisaTells, just like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Anyway, where was I? That's right, talking mess. So anyway, the fact that you let it be known that Riley and Blaze and Ace, you're gonna cut them out. I wouldn't trust Mama Joyce too. I know she was looking at her like, I can't even trust you to make sure your own grandkids are treated equally. No, you're not being put on. Anyway, right? Mama Joyce, again, that is a double-sided sword with Mama Joyce. She makes some good points, and then she always just goes a little bit too far. And honestly, also, and this is the cruel part, why would Mama Joyce say that about Ace and Blaze on camera? Isn't that a private conversation if you really feel like it? Because if I was Ace and Blaze 10 years from now watching reruns of my mom, I'd be looking at my grandma, I'm like, really? Really? I wasn't supposed to get anything anyway, right? We get to Sheree with the fashion show. RHOA got the perfect models. RHOA, that's the girl's name, right? RHOA hooked everything up. RHOA even said, put me on a plane. This is Sheree's assistant, the girl that wears the hijab, said, put me on a plane. I will go and get the fashions. How crazy is it? How crazy is it that Sheree had a quality person behind her trying to pull? Hey, Detroit Chips, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. She had the perfect employee trying to pull this across the finish line. Sheree was telling her, Ron was like, I'll get on the plane and get the fashions right now. Dead ass, let's go. Sheree was like, and who gonna sew them? You gonna sew them? I'm like, how you got somebody saying I will move heaven and earth to make your dream come true? And Sheree's giving excuses on why that can't happen. I was like, if She by Sheree was RHOA, it probably, that site would have been up and running. It would probably be in Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and maybe Neiman Marcus right now if RHOA was the owner of She by Sheree. I'm just saying. Now, right? Sheree's talking about the pressures building up. Again, that harsh inner critic that she needs to be perfect in order to pursue her dream. You don't need to be perfect. The perfect comes in you actually just going after your dream, right? Anyway, Tyrone pops. Oh, Apollo pops up. Wow. Here's all I can say. When Apollo popped up, I was like, oh, I can't wait for Kenya to see him, because guess what? Apollo might be an absolute mess, but he is still easy on the eyes. He is still easy on the eyes. That's all I got to say. Tyrone pops up. And this is my issue with Sheree, and I see where her inner critic comes from. And it made me think, did Sheree grow up poor or ridiculed or bullied? Because Tyrone pops up, and the first thing Sheree says is she's embarrassed of the way he looks. She thinks he looks scruffy. She thinks he looks poor. She thinks he looks unkept. And Sheree is so image obsessed. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying she don't have any reason to beef with Tyrone, but you can tell when he pops up that her number one complaint is she feels embarrassed. She's wearing Louis Vuitton. Why aren't you walking around with She by Sheree? Sheree said she got 5 pieces. Why aren't you wearing 2 of them on camera? Instead, you're wearing Louis Vuitton because everything's all about image with Sheree. Sheree is desperate for people to see her as rich and this and that. And that is Sheree's fatal thing, right? Listen. Oh, thank you. Ocean said, thank you so much for the super chat, Ocean. She said, thank you so much, Mama. She said, I know this is off topic, but the Kim Kardashian drag sent me. Congrats on the 100K. Thank you, Ocean. If you guys don't know, yes, I am. You know me. I love to nitpick and pick things apart, and I pick the Kardashians apart, and baby, they give me the thing. Thank you so much. So anyway, right? It's just so weird. You're so weird. And then even the conversation, Tyrone's talking about like, you want me to come and jeopardize like getting sent back to prison? And Sheree's like, you made me look stupid. And I'm like, I get it, right? Sheree's speaking in code. Tyrone's talking about, you want me to go back to prison. Sheree's like, you know that if I don't have a storyline, these people will fire me, right? It just came across a little weird. Anyway, right? Apollo does a sit down. He's back. He got his own sit down, and he was like, that's not true. Penal section 683 says you have a right to media in all forms and this and that. And I said, look at Apollo, the most handsome jailhouse lawyer in the world. Look at Apollo. I just had to giggle. I had to laugh, right? Sheree, and you know one thing, and I will say this, you can tell the difference between Sheree at the fashion show and Sheree in the talking head, because the Sheree at the fashion show, when Tyrone came with those flowers, as they tried to say were $14.99, and I said, what supermarket sells all those bouquet of flowers for $14.99? Maybe I need to move down to Atlanta, because I ain't never seen a bouquet of lilies and flowers like that for $14.99. Anyway, excuse me, I put on my gloss. My lip gloss of cotton. My lip gloss is cool. All the boys are talking. They chase me after school. Okay, shut up. Anyway, but Sheree was talking much trash about Tyrone in the green screens. We know those green screens was filmed after. Sheree was messing with Martell, and she talking big trash about Tyrone. How you talking about big trash about Tyrone when you are literally standing next to that man that Melody Holt gave the tapes on, that he is an absolute mess? I don't understand. Sheree got all that beauty. She got all that booty, and you literally are throwing your jewels to pigs. I can't. Even though, do you think Martell will like hunker down and help her launch She by Sheree? I don't know. Sheree needs that one girl, Rowan. You need to keep her, make her CFO, make her CEO, do everything you can to get She by Sheree up again. Okay. Candy, we cut back to Candy and Marlo talking. Why would Marlo invite Candy to come to the dysfunction that is her mom? But then I just said, Marlo's mad manipulative. You did that because you were on Candy's bad side and you wanted to manipulate Candy into feeling sorry for you. It didn't work. Because let me tell you something. Once an earth sign's done with you, you can be on fire. They wouldn't even spit on you if you were on fire. I'm dead serious. It's like, yeah, they'll be quiet. Y'all don't know. Okay, I can't really say anything right now. But Marlo, you burnt that bridge with Candy. You can try to make her feel sorry for you as much as possible. You burnt that bridge. You burned it down. Anyway, right. They go to the fashion show. Sonya looked amazing in that pink sequin dress. Kenya looked amazing in that silver dress. Candy looked amazing in the blue. Marlo looked amazing in that leopard print. Who else was there? Candy's on the Drew. She looked good. Who else was there? Moneta looked amazing. Fatima looked amazing. Drew looked really pretty too. Everybody looked so good on that fashion show. That's why I don't understand the reunion looks. I don't understand. Anyway, I feel like they're like, wear something kind of pretty, but then give them something to talk about. Anyway, right? I just noticed Sheree's assistant was running the show. I also just noticed that Moneta and Carmen, they don't look alike, but they looked a little alike at that fashion show, the styling, right? Kenya saw Apollo. Girl, reunited, and it feels so good. Listen, Portia opened up the gates to heaven, or hell, actually, right? Forget about flirting with husbands. We stealing husbands. We flaunting the stolen husbands. We're laying in the bed we made, fighting for prenups. Please, Kenya, flirt away. Apollo's single. You're single. Hey, Janice, thank you so much for the super chat. Money, 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 money. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just saying, listen. Kenya doesn't need Apollo, but I will say Apollo and Kenya, when they are on screen, they got even when they're in the same room, they get this chemistry, don't they, Janice? My new best friend. Thank you, Janice. They get this chemistry that you can cut with a knife. And I don't want to hear nobody talking about her flirting with Apollo when he was with Phaedra, because, baby, Portia opened the gates to hell. As long as you don't break up a marriage, as long as you don't literally be gallivanting across the world in secret, undercover St. Regis, getting like stacks of money like a stripper. As long as you don't do that, we cool, right? We cool. I'm just saying. Thank you, Tammy. Their chemistry is out of the world. Listen, Kenya had their eyes on that white guy in Sheree's fashion show. She said he was filling out his joggers. First of all, he wasn't white. He was Arab. When did we start calling? I think it's the Kim Kardashian effect. It's none of my business. But when did we start calling like South Asian people white? Like they're South Asian. They have their own culture. I know you didn't mean anything like that, but it's just odd to me. But yeah, he was cute too. But baby, and he probably didn't have a jail record. Listen. Kenya stood up for him, but girl, I saw her eyes light up for Apollo, and I saw Apollo looking around to see where Kenya was. Now they went, and listen, Kenya would never, and Apollo seems to be happy with Sheree, but can we just talk about that chemistry? It literally took me back, and again, I don't care what y'all say, this season felt like it's the swan song. I really do feel like next season or the season after that is going to be kind of like what happened with Real Housewives in New York. Unless the ratings bump up, it's going to be the next Real Housewives thing. I'm telling y'all, keep y'all eye, because they're wrapping up all the loose ends, giving us fan fiction. I will say this though, that's another reason how we know it's a lie that Portia was offered $6 million to come back when they are trying to cut costs on this show. Here's the thing. Portia wants to come back. Ain't nobody flying. Who started this dumb lie that network executives are flying down to meet with Portia? Anytime there's hardcore negotiations for a show, they fly you up to 30 Rock where their lawyers are sitting in the room and all the conversations are taped and videotaped. Like, you guys just don't understand. They would never fly down to come for, like, as if they think Portia can save Real Housewives in Atlanta when the season she was on, even when they censored her, was some of the lowest rated seasons. Now, here's the thing. Portia does want to come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. T, I'm hearing. Because she's realized Simon doesn't have as much money as he fronted as saying. Also, that $6 million lie, she floated it for a reason, for a prenup. I'm going to do a video about this, but I do want to just say this. She does want to come, but they are not offering her anything. They might throw her a box of Cracker Jacks, some edge control, and some bowl hole for her to hold that weed down. They'll maybe throw her that, and Portia will do it. Portia will do it because she has nothing else going on. Oh, Kathy Lee. Listen, Apollo and Kenya would set Real Housewives of Atlanta on fire if they started the date. First of all, Kathy Lee, thank you so much for that super chat. And baby, you ain't never lie. If they forget about if they started dating, give me a scene where they just sit down and catch up and rehash things. Apollo pours her some wine. Kenya does her little giggle. Man, they would break the internet. Listen, Real Housewives and producers, if they were smart, they would literally sit Kenya down and be like, we are going to raise your salary by $2 million. And you are going to literally have scenes where you and Apollo literally reenact Dirty Dancing, where they're just like, remember when the girl ran up to who's the guy that started Dirty Dancing? And she jumped in his arms and he lifted her up and spun her around. And you hear, I've had the time of my life and I've never felt this way before. Yo, I would pay money to see that happen. And I think it actually would. Listen. I'm just saying, Listen, I'm not saying it got to be a real relationship, but like Kathy Lee said, all you got to do is just sit down and act like y'all tried to date. It would be ratings gold. Gold, I tell you. Listen, anyway, let's get through this. Let me drop the call-in link while I get through this. Anyway, Peter shows up. Dwight shows up. I said it once, I said it again. It feels like a goodbye, but I'm glad that we got to see hustle culture. Sheree did what? She did that. She did that. She did that. She did that. Yes. Yes. Between 7:30. Okay, let me drop this call-in link. And then I gotta hold on, guys. Let me drop this call-in link. I love Dwight. It was a victorious fashion show. The fashions were really, really cute. Let's just see if Sheree can actually make this happen. Listen, I know for a fact Apollo's going to be back next season. 100% Apollo is going to be back. What do you listen? There will be no Claudia Jordan slander in my thing. Claudia is not a colorist. She never was, and she was one of the great things that actually should have been on the Housewives. They lost a good thing when they lost Claudia. Listen, Claudia is not a colorist. She was never a colorist at all. So let me drop this call-in link real quick because my daylight is fading, and y'all know I don't have a ring light to stay of, right? Dwight always looks good. Dwight always looks good. Claudia was and is brilliant, but she getting her coin anyway on Dish Nation. So you know what? Yes, that's right. Listen. Okay, let's go here. Mrs. P, how are you?
Hello,
Hi.
Tisa. Girl, I've been rocking with you since you first started off. Good seeing you tonight. Good seeing you tonight, my love.
What's
So
going
first,
on?
so we're gonna talk about. It's so much to unravel with what you said, right? So Miss Joyce, Mama Joyce, I don't. What she was. I mean, being a mom myself,
Okay.
like, and situations you recognize situations. Mama Joyce wasn't saying don't give Ace and Blaze anything. She was like, Riley needs the larger cut because her father didn't even never pay no child support. But Todd is there taking care of his kids every day. When she said they're making money, they are making money together every day. So it's not like cut them out. They have two parents where Riley only has one parent. And the prenup, I'm quite sure, was the earnings before they got married.
Okay. But I would say to that, that's an interesting theory. But I would say to this, Mama Joyce is always the one also calling Todd broke. So if you really, and half the people on the internet are. So if you guys, so it's like, what is the truth? Is Todd actually contributing enough that it can actually make up for his children? And Mama Joyce didn't say, she said the bulk of your money um, should go to Riley. I feel like this. Todd's a grown man. We don't know what Todd's going to go to his money. If my parents both had money and I knew that my parents cut my brother, sister, whatever out because my dad had money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm like thinking we all got the same mom and dad, so we all like sat there seeing together. They're psychos. We hate them, right? When you mad at your mom and dad when you're little. But you see what I'm saying? It's just like just because the dad got more, you're just left it and you didn't leave me anything. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to parents, all kids should get something equally. I see Mama Joy's point about careful what you do with Todd because there's going to be another woman sleeping in that bed. But I don't know. What y'all think in the comments? I mean, it's a good point. That's a good point, Mrs. P.
So let me say something else, right?
Go on.
I have a 15-year-old and I have a 31-year-old. The 31-year-old has a son, right?
Uh-huh.
And the 31-year-old with the son is not, I mean, she's still relatively young, but she is established. But should I cut my grandson out or should I lesser my daughter, the 15-year-old? Because the 15-year-old doesn't have any kids. So should I break the 31-year-old down and make sure that both of them have that money, her and her son? Because
But
I want to make sure
here's
I
the
look out.
thing. I see what you're saying, but again, when I look at even you look at inheritance law in most states, right? Even inheritance law recognizes that people that are direct descendants of the deceased always get a bigger share. So what they'll do in that, and this is just even like legal canon, what they'll do and be like, okay, you guys have two, well, no, they'll actually say you have two children. It's split equally between those two children if you have no spouse. Now, if you did leave for whatever reason, intestate, which means that you have no will, they'll even say, okay, so let's just say you said, oh, I want this and that and blah, 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 blah. They might even take a little, but your grandson or whoever, your nephew, grandson, will never get 33%. He could get, if you say, and I also want, he will get a share of his mom's inheritance. So the mom, yeah, I don't know. I see what you're saying. It's a little bit tricky because at the end of the day, you can leave whoever you want money to. But what I'm really trying, I say all this to say, that's actually Candy's kids, though. It's like they might have different fathers, but if I was Blazer Ace, I'd be like, but we all have the same mom, so why are we not getting the same amount? Because we all have the same mom. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, that's not true. Blood children. Well, that actually, Queen Jar, I don't want to say it's not true. In the state of New York, people that are not blood children or adopted children, also like your spouse, even if you try to cut your spouse out your will, your spouse automatically gets a certain amount of your assets, even if you cut them out their will. I think that, I don't know what it is. I think it's 20 or 33%. So that's why inheritance law, it's different in every single state. But in New York, blood children and adopted children, but if that blood child was never recognized, they're not entitled to anything that happens intestate. Anyway, I don't want to get into a state law, inheritance law, because it's complicated and it goes by state. But even from a moral thing, if my mom passed away and I didn't get the same amount, I would actually feel some type of way. Like, why does my sister get more? We were raised together. I don't understand. But, that's just me. I just think that Mama Joyce, and the way she doesn't like Todd so much, is she doesn't even want Todd to have access through Candy's money through the children. It's weird to me. It's weird. Weird. You said if I was Todd, I'd leave a $5 manure on my things. Hey, what's up, Mama? Hey, Pro Pam, happy birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday. Everybody, wait, who else's birthday is it?
It's my birthday too. TisaTells is mine this Wednesday.
Yo, let's wish a happy birthday. Hey, let's wish a happy birthday.
In the house.
That's right. Our two P's, Miss Pro Pam, Miss P. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. What's up, Prosperity? What's your take on all this?
Hey, Tisa. Hey, y'all. First, I just want to say I love the way the ladies looked on Sheree at the end of this thing. That sisterhood right there, it looked so good on TV. It was so good to see. It was so refreshing to see because they fussed all damn season long. And we got to get ready for this reunion. So I was so happy to see that because they were so genuinely happy that she got this done. And I was too. It's about
exactly. They really did that. What was your takeaway with what was your takeaway with everything on the conversation with Todd and Mama Joyce? That was the most shocking thing to me,
Mama Joyce is gonna be Mama Joyce, and Mama Joyce is gonna get a piece of the pie one way or
Hi,
the
Tisa.
other. She don't care if she has to cut her grandkids out, Todd out, the stepchild out. She gonna get her piece of the pie. And when she said you need another person, the first thing I said was, "Hell, not you, not you." No, Mama Joyce, we not doing that with you. No. You have fought this man this whole marriage. You mean to tell me he gonna have to fight you in her death too? No. Candy, if you want to rest when you pass, you better not do it. Don't put her on none of them papers because you ain't gonna be able to rest in peace at all.
Candy said, wait a minute. Candy said, you expecting me to die? All right. Because
she was
of
waiting.
course
No,
we
listen, Queen Dardy makes a good point. Let's go back to the thing. She says that she's literally entrusted in the state's law in Georgia, and it's different than New York. So let's revisit Queen Dara's comments because she knows 100% what she's talking about in the state of Georgia as to what could actually happen. Queen Dara, what did you say could happen? You said, Queen Dara said, Mama Joyce better be careful about her elder care. Actually, she's setting up her grandchildren to hate her, which is sad. That is true. That
she is
true. That was so weird when I was like, wow.
I hope those kids don't see that years later. That's all I gotta say.
No, but I always thought that little spat was something they played up for TV. I had no idea. Like,
I never thought that.
You really can't stand Todd at all.
And I don't even think it's that she can't stand Todd. She can't stand anybody that's going to keep her away from Candy's money. Point blank.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Because she was the same way about the other dude that passed. She don't want Candy to have no man. And then you over there letting your man spend all the Candy money. But the man that helped her build more wealth and gave her kids and loved her unconditionally and just flow with her, but he not supposed to get nothing, but your man gonna benefit from whatever you get. Like Candy said, y'all over there tearing up the house and all that, but Todd ain't supposed to get nothing. Mama Joyce is crazy for real. In real life.
That was weird too. I honestly felt the way you guys did. That was an inside. That was a conversation not for TV.
At all.
If that's the way you felt, fine. But you know what's so weird? I remember during the wedding, the way Mama Joyce was so weird to Kayla. And from what I saw, kind of went out of her way to make her feel like, Riley was like the queen and Kayla.
Yeah, because she kept saying, I only got one grandchild. I only have one grandchild. Like, no, you have two now.
Yeah.
You have two granddaughters. Like, stop it. You don't do that to kids. That girl was a child back then. And that is why Todd's mother couldn't stand her, because she knew who her Mama Joyce really was. And Mama Joyce shows us, but everybody wants to push it under the rug. Like, she just playing. No, she not. She serves a heart attack.
Yeah, she was serious as a heart attack. And and the thing is, Mama Joyce loves Candy. She looks out for her, but she just, again, I know we're only seeing scenes. I hate to talk about people's moms, but I don't know. That was just like, whoa. Now, literally, let's actually get a few other people. We'll do Nikki, then we'll do Adam, then we'll do QT1. Nikki, what was your thoughts on this episode?
I thought Mama Joyce went too far saying about not leaving Blaze and Ace out of it, just because Riley didn't grow up with a father. Yeah. At the end of the day, those are Candy's children. And I hope years later the children don't see that.
Yeah, that was just really rough. That was rough.
And I'm sure Candy probably gonna make an excuse speak on it about her mama.
I mean, listen, your mom is your mom is your mom. Just like man
that's true.
Man is your man. Like if you're gonna be with them, like I get it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't no matter what my mom does, I'm never gonna let somebody else talk about her. And I'm gonna defend what she did because Candy at the end of the day know her mom's heart, right? She knows her mom's heart.
Yeah.
And I hope she knows her mom's heart. So yeah, and the thing is,
and everybody
go on.
No, so everybody looked good at the fashion show.
Sonya should have wore that dress to the reunion instead of what she wore, because that was way better than what that 5-in-1 she had on at the reunion. She looked like a gladiator, a figure skater.
Exactly.
She had about.
I noticed that with Sonya. I noticed that with Sonya too. Like she'll wear things right at a certain time nicely, but at another event she won't wear it properly. Like at the after show, everybody else got on dresses. Why she got on pants and a top?
Well, Sonya. Really quick, let's get in. Adam, what did you think of everything?
Sonya is an Olympic champion. Y'all better put some respect on her name.
She is, but that dress was still working.
Exactly.
Literally looking like she's I am in a peach colored I am Sparta with like the breastplate and like the side thing. Like if you don't get out of here, Sonya, she just could have looked so much better.
Y'all are still rhinestones.
But you know what it looked like? It looked like the knockoff dress that Monique had on during her last reunion.
That's a lie. That thing look nothing like that dress Monique. I'm tired of y'all. Please stop saying that.
Y'all
That dress
terrible.
don't look nothing like that dress Monique
It
had on.
looked just like it.
No, it
No,
don't.
let me read that. It was trying to look like it.
It was
It
trying,
looked
but it
enough.
looked
Because
nothing
I
like that.
actually didn't think that yellow
Yeah.
dress was Monique's best look. But
It wasn't
Adam,
her best look, but it wasn't Sonya's look either.
okay, agreed. Adam, why don't you jump in? What's your opinion of the episode?
Yeah, I think that Mama Joyce is getting a little bit, cuckoo, like for craziness on her part. Yeah, Candy, her daughter Candy is completely upset with her mama, her mama Joyce, though, and the grandchildren are very upset. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah. Totally agree. The grandchildren, yeah, when they see us, they're going to be super, super upset. And the fact that Mama Joyce doesn't look at them as her grandkids, she looks at them as Todd's kids. Oh no. It's like if I was Candy, I'd be like, so I can't leave it to
Who
you.
is Todd, by the way?
Okay, really quick. Also, let's get in QT1. QT1.
Hi, Tisa. Hi, everybody. First time
Hi.
here. Love your channel, girl.
Oh, thank you.
So I want to say, like, as a mother, I have 3 children. Okay. I've been divorced twice, which means if like in the rationale for Mama Joyce, right?
Mhm.
Having been married twice and have children by each husband, I'm not supposed to look out for the other ones because the first husband, the oldest is the oldest. See, the problem I have with her is that, first of all, look out for Riley. Okay, Riley is so much older than the younger ones, right? She's in college. Riley has the potential, number one, to make her own money and put her 10 toes down and have a career, and Candy will definitely, for lack of a better word, right, bankroll whatever her dream is. Number one. Number two, with the younger ones, like in my instance, I have 2 older kids that are so far apart from the youngest one that the way my stuff is set up, the youngest one, if something happened to me today, he would get the bulk. And I'm saying bulk only because he's only 23. Whereas the other 2, they're more established. But they would still, everybody's still going to be straight, but I'm going to look out for the youngest one who's not established yet, only at 23, right?
Yeah.
And for this woman to look at still her blood like they're not,
Yeah.
is sickening to me as a mother, number one. Number two, Candy, where I'm upset with her is that there's no reason for her to be speaking with her mother when she got a whole husband, okay, who helped raise Riley, by the way. Why are you having this conversation with your mother, honey? That's a conversation that you should be having with your husband or with an attorney if you don't want to have it with your husband, not your mother. That makes no sense to me.
And certain things she shouldn't be talking with her mother with.
Yeah, and then with the kids, what's going to happen? Let's just say, Candy took her mom's advice and give everything to Riley or the bulk to Riley or whatever. What's going to happen is now she's putting Riley in a position, right, to cause division with all of her siblings. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. You have to sit up and think ahead of time. And I'm going to even speak on the, like, if Candy is going and somebody is in her marital bed, not it won't be her marital bed because she's gone. Yeah. That is irrelevant too. Mama Joyce is still mad at her ex-husband. Let's keep it 100, okay? She's still mad. She's still mad about what happened with her marriage because there's no reason.
Hold on, you guys. Really quick, QT1. Can you? Somebody said closure, or can you mute your? I don't know. It's
not me. I don't have another. It's been that static was going on before I even tapped in. It's somebody else.
Yeah.
If everybody else got their stuff,
I muted myself and it was still going.
Yeah, it was.
So sorry about that. Now. Keep going. No, because you were in the middle of a good point. QT1.
Yeah, it's off now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a matter of like if Candy's no longer here, it's irrelevant what Todd is doing
I'm
and who he's
sorry, by the
sleeping with.
way. It was
And okay, I
No
say
problem.
that. I say that because let's just say the children are still kind of young, right? I would hope, and I have confidence in Todd personally that he ain't just gonna be letting anybody around his children. That whoever he gets with, it's going to be someone who can help still raise those children the same way he stepped in and helped raise Riley. So, and that's what I'm saying. I think Mama Joyce is still on that. Her marriage didn't work out. And Todd gonna be having somebody in your bed. Who cares? Candy ain't here no more.
That's true.
It's irrelevant. Like,
but do she not care? Because Candy did say, I mean, no, but you know what? You're right. Candy said, like, he can have, like, I just don't want him to be married because I don't want that person to have control over the finances. But like you said, if you give somebody money, especially if you're leaving this earth, you gave them the money. Just be comfortable with whatever amount you give them, that you don't care what they spend it on.
But I think she was saying so they won't go into the children's money. That's what I think she was saying, that they won't.
But the children's money, she was saying, Riley should get the bulk of it.
That's what Mama Joyce said, not Candy.
Can I say something, Tisa?
Go on.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is when y'all say like the bulk of the money or Todd's money or something like that, I think that Candy does believe that she should leave Todd a substantial amount of money. And I believe that she did say she just don't want, anybody else to be able to have control of those kids' money. So to that, I would say she just need to make sure. I mean, she don't want to leave.
Why would they have control? Why?
Well, she don't want to leave her husband out
but
of
if
the
it's
picture.
A trust, why
She don't
would
want to
they
put
have
her.
access?
I think
that
that
set up
she's
right, then
probably
that's
going to
not a
leave her
concern.
husband a good sum of money too.
But
I
if it's
believe that. I believe that she believes in him. I believe that it is really true love. And I believe that she believes in him. And if she leaves him make sure he has a big chunk of money, and then he marries some gold digging like Instagram OnlyFans chick, then the girl done figured out a way to get the money, and then what?
How?
But that has nothing to do with the children. See, I hear what you're saying.
Only people that are altered. It's like she's not leaving Candy. Sorry to overtalk you. She's not leaving Todd a bank account. She's leaving a trust. Trusts have very specific rules over who can access it, who can spend it, and also the distributions to get out. If anything, the person that's over the trust, the only thing they can do is, let's just say Candy sets up a trust saying, all right, so starting from the time that you're 18, you're going to get from this trust $10,000 a month, right? When you are 35, which a lot of wealthy people do, when you are 35, you can have the full trust. If you need more money than $10,000 a month, anytime before you turn 34, you go to the trust person and you say, I need this money. And they can actually sign off on if they think it's a good use. That's all a trust is. They're just kind of like overseeing that the money doesn't get taken. So even if he married, that person wouldn't have access to take that money or get into the money, because even the person that runs the trust doesn't have permission from the bank to take money out for their purpose.
That's why I'm saying she's probably dead set on making sure that he never wants anything else again in life either.
Yeah.
But again,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Still not her mother's business. And I want to just add to what Tissa was saying. Guess what? With this trustee situation, even if Todd passed away and he was married to someone else, that person who he leaves behind still can't mess with the children's trust. It has zero to do.
Children's trust, but he's still their father, so the only money he's going to use is the money that she left for the kids.
No,
so that's what I'm saying. So therefore, if he get with somebody that's a gold digger and can control the money that he has, not the money that Candy left him, I'm just saying he still has to take care of the kids with his money as well. So she's looking like, I don't want him to be with someone that's going to be out here using him. That's what I got from it.
That's not true. Here's the thing. Even with the trustee, right? there is a plan in motion. If it's set up properly, there's a plan in motion. Like I said, God
I'm
forbid
not talking
something.
about the trust part. I'm not talking about the
But you,
trust money.
please let me finish. What you said was, aside from the trust, Todd has to take care of. But what you're saying is a day-to-day basis, correct?
Yeah, with his own
Okay,
money, not the money
right.
that they
Okay.
left in the trust.
So this is what I'm trying to explain to you: is if the trust is set up properly, there will be provisions, no matter what, if it's set up properly for the day-to-day expenses. One trust, you understand, you don't just have to have one trust. Okay. So with
I'm not
that
talking
being
about
said,
a trust at all.
but you're missing what, if you listen, you'll get what I'm saying. Because you're talking about the day-to-day, right? I'm saying to
No.
you that she can have a separate trust set up for, because she knows what her monthly expenses are right now as the life that she's living. So let's just say she's spending, like Tissa said, 10,000 a month right now, the way they live right now. Okay, she can have a separate trust set up for the household. So Todd's money, what you're saying, that day to day, does not have to be spent on the children unless he's just choosing, hey, I'm just out on those shopping spree. We're taking a vacation. I want to just spend this and that money. So that gold digger part of it on his day to day is going to be strictly up to him, meaning, hey, I'm going to spend this on this chick. It's still not going to take away from the children. That's what I was trying to explain. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. 100%. Does it make sense to everybody or no? I'm just looking at the cast is posting things from the fashion show. Kenya looked amazing in that silver dress. Look at
Yes,
her.
she really did.
Yeah,
But
I'm not even gonna lie. I bought the bedroom candy. I paid the little money. I never sold none of the stuff. Right now I'm trying. Right now I'm trying to Kenya more hair care. And then next I'm about to She by Sheree as soon as it comes up.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
But
sir.
I understand. I'm so glad that the fashion show went the way it did. But I really want to understand. None of those pieces were so extravagant or intricate that it should have took that long. So did Sheree not pay these people their money to the last minute and they didn't start working on these outfits until the check cleared? Because I'm like, they were basic outfits. It should not have took to the
They
last
were not
hour.
basic outfits. They looked really, really nice. Don't come back for She by Sheree. Do
Child,
not do
them
that.
outfits
Don't
did
do
not
that.
need to be last minute unless she waited until the last minute to order and pay.
I think
None of
even
those
her
outfits was
jumpsuit she had on, I'm
intricate
hoping that
as that.
jumpsuit she had on at the end of the show is She by Sheree, because that was really fire. And I would really love to rock that.
Everything was cute. That's what I said. Everything was cute, but I'm still saying, why did it take so long for her to get these daggone
because
pieces?
it's Sheree and it did, but like I said, it's like, listen, I'm just saying, when I started YouTube, everybody told me you need this, you need that, you need this. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, look at God's glory. I'm sitting here talking to y'all without a ring light as the sun goes down. Look at God's glory. So it's like, I don't know. It will work out. Sheree did what had to be done, and she's now posting She by Sheree hats. So she took Candy's advice. Um, and she has on like 2-piece joggers. So let's see. She
Is the
said,
website up?
I don't know. It wasn't up at that time. Maybe it'll be
I
up by
thought it said
midnight.
midnight because if you look at California time, it's still going to air like 3 hours later. So every
Listen,
time.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's only
don't come.
seven. It's
Let's give her a chance.
7:38
Look,
right
this
here in
black girl
Cali.
magic. We gonna empower black women. We ain't gonna bring them down. Let's see what's
Yeah.
gonna
Who's
happen.
bringing her down? I'm asking a question. She's
Oh,
looking at
the
something.
site is up. The site
Thank
is
you. That's all I asked. What's the site up? Ain't nobody
site
bringing
The
nobody
is
down.
site
I'm
up.
been
asking
up.
her a
What's
No,
for
question.
sale?
listen.
What's for sale? The site been up. I've been checking that site for about a week now.
No, I
What's for
just checked it.
sale?
Hold on. Well, Judgy Justice said the site is up. Let's see. No,
I put
listen,
some
Brooke
I
Purdy,
put something in your
you are
private
not
chat.
breaking down Sheree. You just asking where are the
Exactly.
fashion.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
No, I get it. It's like Sheree, on the other hand, has had an amazing opportunity, and she still does. And especially because you are an entrepreneur, Prosperity Cups by Thick Girls. Go to her Instagram. She sells beautiful cups, custom made, a whole bunch of stuff. It is kind of painful to see someone that has all these opportunities and
Exactly.
that many people work many years for, and you have all this opportunity, you just leave it on the ground. It's like, oh, when you pick that up and do something with it.
And did I not start off by saying I'm happy for her and I love the way they loved on her and I'm glad she finished? Did I not
fall
start off
down,
with
but
that?
we get up. We gonna get
Okay,
that
I
girl her
thought so.
props. We are
Did I
not
not
gonna
start
get
off with
right
giving
now,
her her props?
Instagram.
What are
You
you
guys,
talking about?
hold on, you guys, hold on.
Sorry
Let's
to interrupt.
actually
I just want to
see.
say good night to you all, and I'll put that in
Yes,
the
good
back
night
chat.
to
Thanks for having
everybody.
me. Okay,
Hey,
guys. Bye.
I'm about to
Teamwork.
go
You
too,
guys.
Tisa. Love you, Tisa. See you later, babe.
Love you guys too. So listen, we are on She by Sheree's site. The shopping part is not up yet, but let's all do a prayer circle and hope it comes to be. Listen, on that note, thank you guys all for joining me on the live. I will see you guys next week for the reunion. Don't forget, I'm
Yes.
dropping a couple of videos tonight. The part 2 of the Portia video, you guys saw it, and I'm dropping a few other videos. So if you're bored in the middle of the night, make sure you check this one out. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. And thank you so much, Adam, Nikki, Miss P, Prosperity, of course, MC. Thank you, everybody, for joining. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.